And this was a Biden indictment. Even that stupid trial going on in New York, which has been totally discredited, everybody's been discredited. That's all comes out of the White House. That's to discourage people from voting. That's to hurt us. The only difference is we have a big voice. But every time I'm indicted, I consider it a great badge of honor because I'm being indicted for youth.
And that is former President Trump speaking at a rally in South Florida on Wednesday night on his ongoing legal issues with President Biden's Department of Justice and Democrat prosecutors. The 45th president currently in the middle of a civil trial in New York in which he and his children and the Trump Organization are being sued by the state's Attorney General, Letitia James, for $250 million over accusations that they misled banks and others about the value of their assets. James has been front and center at the trial, appearing in the courtroom and holding news conferences at the end of the day, even as violent crime continues to plague everyday New Yorkers. During James's tenure as AG, crime is up 29% in the Big Apple over a 2-year period, while the city saw a 214% spike in anti-Semitic crimes last month amid Israel's war against the Hamas terrorists. Joining me right now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is President Trump's attorney, Alina Habba. Alina, thanks very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So we just heard from the AG, Letitia James, talking about this trial. She comes out and talks a lot, but President Trump is not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, we have a gag order currently against certain issues that we can't speak to, and we've seen this on many cases of his. You know, Jack Smith has moved for the same thing. And it's really, you know, it's a First Amendment right. He's also a leading candidate. He has a right to speak. He should speak about anybody and anything that he sees that's corrupt. But we do, even I, have a limited gag order.
You have been complaining about the judge's clerk, and you say that the judge is compromised and the clerk appears compromised. Tell me why.
Well, I actually can't tell you why because I'm gagged.
Right.
I can tell you that, you know, we'll be filing papers to address all of those issues. And the fact that, frankly, Maria, I can't even discuss it with you, and I'm his spokeswoman, I'm his attorney, says a lot about what the judicial system, the state of our judicial system right now.
I think I did see that there were donations that the clerk had given, very supportive to the Democrats. That was one issue. Are you going to file to get a mistrial?
Yes.
When will you do that? Today?
Soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Okay. And how would that change things? Then you go from day one, you start over again.
You know, the problem is with all of these things, such as filing a motion for a recusal, which we've done twice, is that this judge has to be the one that decides, is he going to recuse himself? Does he feel that there was a mistrial? It's a bench trial. We have one judge, and it's the same judge that issued the gag order that has to make those determinations. So at this point, you know, I don't have any reason to believe he shouldn't, after what we've learned, if it's true. But I will tell you that it's concerning when he is the arbiter and the decision maker of some of these issues.
These accusations that he overvalued his assets,
right.
What kind of third-party people did you have, or did Donald Trump have, in terms of doing their own evaluation? Because, I mean, when you go to get deals, you have to get auditors to okay the valuations that you put in, right?
Right.
Did he have auditors to do that?
He had an accounting firm to put together what's a compilation. The compilation they were involved with, they were there all the time communicating with the Trump Organization. They put their stamp of approval on it. And then there was this disclaimer that everybody always puts on and says, hey, do your own work. The disclaimer is very important. Remember, there was nobody harmed. These are sophisticated lenders, Deutsche Bank, you know, major establishments with all kinds of regulations, KYC, FEC regulations. These people take somebody's numbers. They don't use them. They do their own due diligence. And they weren't harmed. They were paid on time. They were paid with interest. They made money. But Letitia James is putting her nose into private companies and private individuals' work, which is not what's meant to happen. And the law that she's using is a consumer fraud law so that she can establish some way to have control, to not have a jury, to do certain things in this case that are nonsensical and shouldn't be happening. And we've been fighting it all along the way. The problem we have is the judge is the one that's going to make those decisions, and he's proven himself to be quite motivated by the other side.
And you think he's compromised as well?
I'm not going to speak to that, but we'll see.
Yeah. The president's children have testified.
That's right.
Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric Trump as well. Don Jr. is speaking again tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
What have they been asking the kids? And tell me how they fit into all of this.
They don't fit into all of this. What have they been asking the kids? It's very simple. They'll ask the kids, did you give a value to somebody? Did you do something? And everybody said resoundingly, no, the kids were not involved. I believe that when they crafted this complaint, they looked at their titles and they looked at, frankly, PR. And if they patch in the kids, it's more days that Letitia James can go out there and speak. It's more press for her, and it's more of an impact. Radical left liberals don't really care about facts. They don't care about law. They care about making statements. And these kids did nothing wrong. They should not be in this case. Ivanka's already out of the case. The boys should not be in the case. Their testimony was direct. And they just want to make it as if there was some sort of corruption and some sort of conspiracy. There was none. There was an accounting firm, there were lawyers, and there were sophisticated lenders that all did their job. And nobody got harmed.
Yeah.
But Miss James wanted a headline. She campaigned on this, remember, before she was even the Attorney General. That's how she got the Attorney General role.
Yeah.
She campaigned on Trump, so she had to follow through. And she should really dismiss this case. It's making her look bad, frankly, and the city needs her attention elsewhere.
Alina, we're going to be waiting and watching for your filings for a mistrial, likely later today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Alina Habba joining us this morning.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.